Hello everyone, I'm Claire Huddleston. Thanks for joining us. Fire broke out at a home in Coker this afternoon. Luckily, no one was injured. Firefighters say the home on Sam Sutton Road had extensive damage to the kitchen and living room. They believe it started because someone left grease on the stove. Firefighters estimate 50% of the home is damaged. Northport, Coker, and Mount Olive volunteer fire departments responded to the scene. It took them about 10 minutes to put out the fire. We've seen some good rainfall this week. Will it continue through the weekend? Richard Scott joins us with the first look at Alabama's home team forecast.
Hey Claire, good Thursday night to you. Numerous showers and storms at least some point today. Many of us did get some rain early this morning, and a band of thunderstorms trying to get organized this afternoon, kind of falling apart before reaching the city of Tuscaloosa. We're dry now. No showers and storms active on radar at this hour. Hey, if you have plans outdoors for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to have some storms at times, 30% chance of rain on Friday. Not going to be a washout, but a couple of thunderstorms will come and go. 95 degrees on Friday, 94 on Saturday and Sunday. Lows still in those low to mid 70s. Going to be mild and muggy at night. Also, some thunderstorms going to be impossible on Saturday and Sunday. Again, if you have those weekend plans, it's not going to rain all day. It might rain 30 minutes or so, and it'll be over with, and cooler air will set in. Hey, what about the rest of the forecast? The first cold front of the season comes in just down the road. I've got your forecast coming up in Maine weather.
Thank you, Richard. After the April 27th storms, the Junior League of Tuscaloosa brought an art therapist to Holt Elementary so the students could have an outlet to express their emotions. Tonight, those pieces were auctioned off to raise money for future projects at the school. WVUA's Sarah Chavnik has more.
They say time heals all wounds, but for children at Holt Elementary, art is their healing power.
Art conveys that because it is the first language. You don't need a translator. The whole world is visual, and so when they start placing something in a picture, you and I will know what it is.
With the help of artist Nancy Raya, the Junior League of Tuscaloosa wanted to give children affected by the storm a way to express their feelings through art.
Our children just really opened up to Nancy, and it was just a great opportunity for our school.
I think we took a unique approach, and it was almost kind of it just all fit together so perfectly because Nancy Raya, the artist, was reaching out to our community, and we happened to be who she got in touch with first, and it all just fell together. And I think that people in this community realize that art therapy and expressing of those emotions is really important for children.
The Junior League sold the pieces of art, known as tornado hair, to people in the community, hoping to raise enough money to continue to support the artist therapy in school.
We're going to look at different artist groups that we could bring in to work with the students, but all under the idea that we want to give them a safe and effective method to communicate the feelings that they have about what they've been through.
And Raya wants children to take away one important lesson from it all.
You can't control how your hair blows, and so it helps to show your emotions and that you're a survivor. You can't always control how the winds of life, but you can adjust your sails.
In Tuscaloosa, Sarah Chavnik, WVUA News.
At tonight's event, the Delta Tau Delta fraternity donated $5,000 to the Junior League so they can continue helping Holt Elementary. A University of Alabama student is putting Tuscaloosa's tornado damage in the national spotlight on CMT's television show Sweet Home Alabama. Earlier this summer, Devin Grissom brought her city and country boys to Tuscaloosa to help with the tornado cleanup efforts. They met at the Volunteer Recovery Center and then went to work. They cleared away debris so a family could rebuild their home. Devin says this experience gave her a chance to see the guys in a more serious atmosphere.
You know, it was for something bigger than that, and I think we all realized that at that point. It was no longer a TV show for us. It was no longer a competition. We all just kind of stuck together and got the job done.
None of the guys had seen tornado damage like this before, and she feels this trip made a huge impact on them. Devin Grissom isn't the only UA student back in Tuscaloosa. Thousands of them are back in T-Town for the first time since April's tornado. We caught up with some students to see how the storm has challenged their college experience. And Tuscaloosa city leaders are preparing for those 30,000 plus students to experience the same thing when they return over the next 2 weeks. WVUA's Bradley Whittington has more.
With many Alabama students returning to Tuscaloosa for the first time since the April 27th tornado, Tuscaloosa's Director of Transportation, Tara Tubbs, says those students are in for a big surprise.
When I was a new freshman coming into town, and I did not know my way around anywhere, and I at least got to start recognizing, okay, I was close, I remember this place, and I worry about that because there's so much of our town, 8% of our town that's gone.
Tubbs says if you think driving in the daytime is hard, driving in affected areas at night is worse.
Street lights are up, but you got to understand, a lot of that light you're used to seeing comes from those surrounding neighborhoods, and those surrounding neighborhoods had street lights all through their neighborhoods. Well, those aren't there anymore.
The sign here on 359 used to point University of Alabama traffic towards McFarland Boulevard, but since the April 27th tornado, it now directs traffic down 359. City leaders say that was done to help the flow of traffic move a little faster.
Not only do you have the thousands of people coming in trying to get to the game, and they're not going to just be focused on getting to the game, they're going to be getting to the game and seeing what they can see on the way, which I feel like is going to really slow the traffic up a lot.
One positive effect from having nearly 30,000 students returning to T-Town is the revenue. Tuscaloosa Revenue Director Linda McKinney says the city's revenue should start to pick up.
Well, we normally see a rise in revenue because the students come back, they increase their population substantially. So it does affect our sales tax revenue and affect our budget each year. We look forward to them coming back.
City leaders are counting on that extra revenue because they have extra expenditures like tornado debris removal and cleanup. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
Tubbs says directing University of Alabama traffic down Interstate 359 will likely remain permanent throughout the 2011-2012 school year. It was a partial verdict from the state's government corruption trial. Some defendants stand fully acquitted while others will have to be retried on some of their charges. WVUA's Daniel Sparkman has more on the details and reactions.
Deliberating before telling the judge they had decided on some of the 37 charges, but were undecided on others. Here's how the verdicts broke down. Victoryland Casino owner Milton McGregor is not guilty of bribery and honest services fraud. The jury failed to reach a verdict on his other charges. Former Republican State Senator Jim Pruitt of Talladega is not guilty on extortion and honest services fraud. Former State Senator Larry Means of Attala not guilty on some of the charges facing him. McGregor lobbyist Tim Coker found not guilty on bribery and honest services fraud. State Senator Harry Ann Smith of Slocum is not guilty of bribery, extortion, and honest services fraud. The jury failed to reach an agreement on her other charges. The jury couldn't reach a verdict for former Country Crossing spokesman Jay Walker and former legislative employee Ray Crosby. The jury acquitted lobbyist Bob Getty and State Senator Quentin Ross from Montgomery on all counts.
11 words, Dave. To God be the glory. It is well with my soul.
The jury determined that there was no defendant that had violated the law, or if they would have found otherwise. I hope the government looks at it as a whole, but I'll leave that to them. On this day, we're pleased.
I think the facts prevailed. I don't think the lawyering made any difference. I think the fact that Mr. Getty has done nothing wrong, has lived an honorable life, and the jury could see how he's been as a person and as a professional in his professional life.
Senator Harry Ann Smith says she's ready to get her life back to normal and is looking forward to getting back to work in the legislature.
This past session, I was there a full session with the indictment hanging over my head, treated with respect, able to do my job. So I don't see any difference in that.
Attorneys for Jay Walker and Senator Smith say they are already preparing for a retrial.
They've not heard a bit of our case. We've heard pretty much of all their case, and while they'll try to tighten theirs up if they go forward, we've got some work to do.
Generally, I think on a retrial, the government says we kind of know what the defense is going to do. We know what they're going to say. The problem I think they have with that with me is they just don't know how crazy I am. And so they know I'm not going to do the same stuff again.
According to the Birmingham News, Judge Myron Thompson plans to set a retrial date within the next month. Daniel Sparkman, WVUA News.
Prosecutors declined to comment until after the retrial is over. We have an update to a story we told you about last night. Teddy Fulgham's family has changed the dates for his memorial and funeral. The viewing will be tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. at Van Hoosen Steel Funeral Home. The funeral will be Saturday at Elizabeth Baptist Church at 11 a.m. Fulgham had been the head security of Bryant High School since it opened in 2003. He had a blood clot in his heart and passed away suddenly Tuesday. Tonight, we're catching up with the business leader appointed by the president who was in Tuscaloosa today. Donna James is chair of the National Women's Business Council. She was the guest speaker at the 5th Annual Women in Business Conference and Award Luncheon in Tuscaloosa. James worked for 25 years as a corporate executive and serves on the board of directors for 4 Fortune 500 companies. WVUA asked James her thoughts on the state of the economy and the job market.
A lot of businesses have had to slow growth to no growth, and some have had to stop. But there's a core constituency of business out there that is sustaining, and even in this economy, looking for the opportunity to grow.
The Women in Business Council recognized several women across West Alabama at the group's 5th Annual Awards Luncheon. Takesha Shannon received the Bright Future Award. Rachel Mims Taylor got Defining Woman of the Year. Dr. Pam Parker received the Achievement Award. Gina Simpson received the Roots and Wings Award. Tracy Kroom received the Trailblazer Award, and Jamie Dykes won the first ever Spirit of Tuscaloosa Award for her efforts following April 27th's tornado. Congratulations to all of the winners.